On today's video, we are going to be talking about how to tell if your assistant, your VA, your co-caller is actually calling on Calltools. So, I have been getting a few DMs asking me, how can I track if my virtual assistant is actually making calls? Are they actually doing the work that they're supposed to be doing? How to keep your employees accountable for the cold calls they're supposed to be making during their shift. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to track what they're doing and kind of just break down the reports and all those small analytics when it comes to keeping track of what they're doing and the KPIs and that type of thing. But before we break it down, before I show you guys where to look, as I'm also preparing the page here, I want you guys to take a look at the links in the description, because in those links I do have a discount to where you can get the biggest database of property owners, so you can start making lists and creating motivated lists that you can go ahead and then skip trace, get the phone numbers by using badge. And I have discounts below. I also have discounts to other platforms that you can use when it comes to marketing. I have a very, very expensive SMS platform, which is pretty worth it. It's very good. I also have a very cheap option that's also good as well for beginners, REI Reply, and it's down below in the link, so you can go ahead and get a discount, because I know some of those, everything is going to be cheaper in the links below. And it's also what I use in my business. So at the same time, you're using straight up tools that someone that is marketing and wholesaling is using. So we got those links below, so you could pull lists, you could get numbers, you could text message on a budget, or you can use a very expensive text messaging software, but it works and it's really good. You also have list stacking, which allows you to stack those lists of property owners to find out if they have multiple levels of motivation. Therefore, they're extremely motivated. Therefore, you can make a bigger assignment fee. Therefore, you basically are winning. So check those links below. And now let's take it straight to the video. So to check if your virtual assistant you got to log into your manager account. And when it comes to tracking that type of stuff, you just got to stick on the reports side. Everything is going to be here for you. So go into reports. The first option you have is live agent report. This one is my favorite if it's a new employee and you want to track how they sound on the phone. This right now, I don't have anyone logged in, but if I did, you would see a green line, just like color like this right here, a green line, and down over here there would be a button that says monitor. If you were to click that monitor button, it'll give you a pop-up and it'll tell you, hey, do you want to spy on this call? Do you want to barge in? Or do you want to whisper something to your employee while they're on a live call? Or do you just want to stay quiet and just kind of be a spy, kind of just hear what they say, but you can't be heard by both parties, by the seller or by the virtual assistant? This is great for new hires because you want to be able to keep in touch with what they're doing and actively live hear all their calls. So that really helps me, especially when it's someone that just joined the team yesterday and I just trained them the other day. I want to hear how they sound, and this will allow you to jump in their calls, either to give them little hints here, trying to tell them things they're doing wrong on the call, which I don't do, but I do sit quietly on the call, which you can, and then just kind of hear what they say. So then later after the shift, I can go over all the little things that I didn't like so they can improve. You have the option to pick if the campaign is true or false. These are really not important, but if you have a lot of agents, you can pick which agent you want to monitor. I only have one agent, so it's not showing up because they're not on right now, but you can also pick campaign if you have several campaigns going out and you want to track, okay, what is being said right now for this campaign. You can go in and click that campaign, and you can click the specific agent that you want to be monitoring. So after that, the live agent report, you got the live phone calls, which is kind of the same thing. You can hop in on their calls as well. Now, the next one is quick reports. It's in reports, and quick reports, you go over here and you can track what they've been dispositioning that day. So this is very helpful for you to tell what is going on with the data and what's going on with the list. So for today, we made no calls, but yesterday there were calls made. So we're going to refresh that. And as you can see, we have a small problem here. A lot of the people are being put as call back again. Call back again means that for whatever reason, we connected, but we didn't connect all the way to the point where we had a conversation. It could be as far as we said, hey, this is James, and then they just hung up on us. So we're going to call them back again. Or it could be as we connected, we said, hey, this is James, and we didn't hear anything, and it just literally cut off. Or they hung up on us, or the phone just didn't connect all the way properly. Or we're saying hello, hello, and there's no one else on the line. Then we're going to call back again. Now, this DNC, do not call list. This is for people that, really don't want to be called. They're more than not interested. They're definitely going to be able to sue, or they're upset. They want to call the police on you, that type of thing. These are people that are aggravated with these calls, that will never be interested, and you're better off just putting them on the DNC. And how many numbers were wrong. This is to keep in mind, because if you're getting phone numbers from whatever database, either it's the link in the below and the links in the description, or it's your own database that you feel more comfortable with, you gotta keep in mind if you're getting a lot of wrong numbers. If you're getting a lot of wrong numbers, your data is no good. And if your data is no good, then your VA is calling numbers that are not accurate. They're calling people that it's just not working for. So it's not the right number. They're wasting your time and you're getting bad data. So always keep in mind, if you have a lot of wrong numbers, then your data is really off. And I suggest you use batch leads and get brand new data. Now, not interested. A lot of people are typically going to be not interested. So this is perfect. It's 13 people not interested. We got 8 for wrong numbers and 8 DNC as well. And we got 43 callbacks. So that's pretty interesting. But all that matters is that, we're able to track what dispositions they're using. And I only have these 4. If you have more dispositions, like to transfer the phone to someone, you can also have that disposition here. So you can see how many times the phone is getting transferred. You could see how many times that it was clicked in the day. So now that we have that, you can also check for time, like this year, how many this year. Well, not this year. This month. Let's do this month. How many this month? Yes, interested. There was only 3 people that were interested this month. I can't click it. Oh, there we go. 90 people were not interested. 77 were wrong number. 26 DNC. And 203 were a callback. So this will help you understand what's going on. Wrong number is okay. I know it's kind of a little high, but it's okay for me because I upload 3 numbers per contact, so I should have a few that are wrong. But now, let's move on to the next one. We did live agent report, live phone calls to monitor their calls, quick reports, which is checking what went on and the dispositions, and now for performance over here, got the agent leaderboard, which just allows us to see in comparison to the other assistants on the team, which one is doing what and which one is doing better, which one is doing better than the other. So this is just what that's for. I really don't use this. It doesn't really help me, but it's just there if you want to use it and kind of have your virtual assistants kind of have like a little competition of who's doing better and that type of thing. It's nice. It's nice. You motivate them, but I don't use this to track any KPIs. Then you go to agent performance. And agent performance, you can track the KPIs. So you can track the KPIs and seeing how they're doing just the agent individually. So let's do yesterday because today's a Saturday and my virtual assistant doesn't call on this day. So yesterday, all agents, filter. Cool. So he was logged in for 6 hours and 19 minutes. He was available for 1 hour. He was on the call for 16 minutes. Post call 3 minutes, 71 calls, and so on. You got a bunch of the dispositions, how many times it was clicked. Now, aside from this one, you got templates you can pick. You got the date ranges for specific times that you want to. If you're doing your KPI charts every single week, then you might just use this week, last week, this week, like just keep using that when the week ends so you can track what happened during the week. Now, the next one is performance agent campaign. Performance campaign performance. This is the one that I mainly use. So let's go to yesterday. Okay, it's going to tell you how the campaign did. So in the campaign, you obviously have one virtual assistant in there. So if you want to check individually what each assistant did, you can go into the, like I just showed you before, the agent performance. That would be better. If you want to check how the campaign did in general, like what was going on during the campaign, you can do a campaign performance. So the time that someone was available in that campaign, how many calls went out? How many calls went out? Almost 2,000 calls went out. Outbound calls actually connected, 600 that connected. Post call, 3 that were post call. 3 hours of post call, and calls outbound not connected. These are the ones that were not able to connect for whatever reason. Because keep in mind, I'm calling 4 or 5 people at the same time. Whoever doesn't pick up just kind of gets declined on, unfortunately. And on call, you got human, machine. Human is what you can consider the calls that actually connected. So the calls that were actually connected, and maybe they hung up too soon, whatever the case is, they actually connected for a brief second. Y'all were both on the line. So that's what I look at. Now, here is my absolute favorite one to check if the virtual assistant is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Are you guys ready for it? When you go into the reports, recent calls, a mixture of recent calls and agent performance or campaign performance is absolute key. That's what's really going to help you track. Recent calls is definitely what tells me what calls were made and at what time and what was done. And for me, if you have in your campaigns, if you have your calls being recorded right here, checked. If you have that checked off, then you can simply hear all the calls that were actually connected, and you can basically just hear what went on and stuff like that, and you can come in and just kind of give them tips of being better. But this is the thing I want to break down. So it'll tell you all the recent calls and the times that they were made. So for instance, let's go here. So my virtual assistant started his shift at 1 yesterday. So let's go back to 1 p.m. Let's look for 1. We're looking at this row right here where it says start. This row. Look at this numbers right here. Right here. Look at all this row. It's 5:45. Each time is apart from each other by a minute or 5 minutes. So they're right behind each other. And that's how it should be. That means that the VA was in the campaign and the campaign was doing their thing. So let's keep scrolling down. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to keep scrolling down because I want to see from the start of the shift what went down. I don't want to see what happened midway shift. I want to know what happened during the start of the shift. Because that way I'll know, okay, what did they do in the start? Okay. Almost there, guys. Almost 2:15. Okay, we're headed straight there. Boom. So, right here, guys. So he started the shift at 1 p.m. The shift was from 1 to 6. So what I do is I keep track from the start of the shift and then I start scrolling up. Okay, so he started at this time, 1 p.m., 102, 102, 102, 102. And then I go to the next page. Okay, and what I look for is I make sure that each call was right after each other. If you see very big gaps, then they either stepped out of the campaign to take a break for no reason. They should have told you. Either they did that, they took a break, which is not acceptable, or they weren't trained properly. What I mean by they weren't trained properly is that with the dialer, sometimes when you connect to an individual and you start having a conversation and the conversation goes on for very long, and then you guys get off the call and you disposition them, sometimes the dialer needs a little bit of time to pick back up where it left. So what I tell all my virtual assistants to do is if it takes more than 15 minutes to connect, 10 to 15 minutes more to connect to the next person, then I need you to refresh the page, essentially log out of the campaign and log back in. That'll take about 1 minute to do. Refresh, get back in, get back out, get back out, get back in. It takes very quick. So if I see big gaps, that means that my employee was taking a break. And then I will definitely put it out and tell them, hey, what was going on? Why was there a big gap here from 1 to 140? That type of thing. So far, so good. There was calls made at 130, 113, 114, 116, 117. They're all right behind each other. They're all right behind each other. You see, there's no major gaps. Look, right behind. That's exactly how it should be. If you see a major gap, then you need to take a screenshot and tell your employee, hey, what were you doing from this time to this time? Why is there a 40-minute gap? At first, it's going to be your fault for not telling them to refresh. But if they do it repeatedly, then you know there's a problem. They're taking a 40-minute break, and you can tell because the dialer is not going to be calling anyone. So 230, yep, they're all right behind each other. Right behind each other. But let me tell you guys a story. When I first hired my VA, I had him call, right? And he had a 40-minute gap. It was from 5:01 was his last call, and then his next call was at 5:50. I guess 50 minutes, whatever. 50 minutes. He was just, I don't know what he was doing. He told me that, hey, I was in the campaign, but I just didn't get calls for 50 minutes. And listen, I believe him because maybe the campaign didn't fresh up. He didn't refresh because I didn't tell him at the time. But I was pretty upset because those were 50 minutes that were wasted. And he told me that he was in the campaign, but I screenshotted to him, hey, there was a big gap. Your last call was at 5, and then the next call was 5:50. So what happened in those 40 minutes? We talked about it, and now that I told him to refresh the page, he does it with no hesitation, and I don't see those big gaps. The biggest gap I'd see now is 15 minutes, which is okay. It's okay. 15 minutes is like, it's no problem. But when it starts going over those 15 minutes, that's when it's an issue because they took a break without telling you, and that's something that I don't allow because I do give my VA a break during the shift for 20 minutes. It's a paid break, so I do expect him to be on the dialer when it is his shift. So look, you can click this play right here as well.
Hello? Oh, hi Alex, how are you?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
Can you hear me better now?
No.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
No, it's not getting any better.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
Hello?
Yeah. So that seller wasn't listening to him. I would just tell him, I'm going to give him a tip about this one because he should have just kept asking her, like, oh, do you want to sell that property, this and that. I think she actually did hear him and was just messing with him, but let's listen to this other call.
Over Schaefer. Test 1, 2. Over Schaefer. Test 1, 2.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on there, but that's just...
Please record your message. When you have finished
Okay, so that was a voicemail box. Let's see if we can hear another one. This one right here.
Oh. Hello? Oh, hi Russell, how are you? Fine. Who's this? Oh, awesome. Yeah, my name is James, and the reason I'm calling is because I work with a local investor, and I'm reaching out to see if you consider an offer for your property over on St. Nick Drive.
No.
Mm-hmm. All right, I understand. Do you have other properties you might be looking to sell, or do you know somebody who might be looking to sell? We pay $1,000 referral fees when you close on the property.
No.
All right. But yeah, thank you for your time, Russell, and you have a wonderful day.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
There we go. So that was a perfect call. He asked him if he had any other properties and let him know that we pay $1,000 in referral fees once we close. So that was excellent. Seller was just not interested. But as you can see, I can hear his calls. Let's listen to another one real quick and see if maybe this one's any good. Yeah, so that one was no good too. Let me scroll up. Maybe there's another one there. Nope.
Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Nope, that's the same lady. Let's do this one.
Hello?
Oh, hi, I'm looking for Barbara, Orr.
You have the wrong number.
Yeah, okay.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yep, so that was the wrong number. Let's do this other one here.
Hello?
Oh, hi, Dennis, how are you? Oh,
I'm sorry, who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Dennis Jones.
I don't think he's in. May I ask who's calling?
Oh, yeah, my name is James, is this the business number?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have dialed the wrong number. Thank you, have a great
You're
day.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep, so you can go ahead and monitor all their calls, and then you kind of just make your pointers from there. So overall today we learned how to listen into your agent's calls, how to go into their performance and either the leadership or the agent performance or the campaign performance. You can also track the recent calls that were made and listen into their calls if your campaign is checked off in recording the calls. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope this video helped you guys out.